Hi everyone, and welcome to another Bass Singer reaction. Before we get started, I am just coming to kind of the end of a sore throat that I've had. I was hoping to get a lot of reactions done this weekend, and this will probably be the only one. My voice is not back to full strength yet, so I will probably not be demonstrating, especially the super low or super high stuff, because I'm trying to recover to be back for my operatic training, which really I need to be back into tomorrow. That said, the show must go on, and today we have something very exciting. This is my first reaction and analysis of a Tomi P song. Tommy's become a good friend of mine. He's a member of the Bass Gang. He's one of the first people I saw kind of doing this acapella stuff online when I started a few years ago, a couple of years ago at this point. He is an immensely talented arranger, producer, and singer, and it is my joy to bring his talent to you through my recently gained platform. So this is going to be Tomi P's recent cover of Sweet Dreams, and I have not seen it. I have saved myself to do a first-time reaction, and I'm trying to do more of those because I know you guys like those more when I can offer more sincere reactions to the things that I'm watching. So I'm trying to do more of those, but it is tough. It is tough because the timing's weird for me. You know, it's rare that I have a big window where I can do these videos. So it's rare that this kind of thing lines up, but this one does. So I'm happy to do this as a first time reaction and analysis. And if you like what I'm doing, please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you really like what I'm doing, please consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And without further ado, let's fight through this sore throat. Let's enjoy this. I cannot wait. Tommy's projects always amaze me. And yeah, let's dive in. Here we go. Sweet Dreams, Tomi P.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Boy, Tomi, you dirty sailor, you. Sweet. Where are we in? C minor. So he starts off with these like little flitter flutter stuffs, and then he comes in with, what was that high pitch? A flat to G, A flat 5 to G5. And then he comes in with the, what is this bass note? A G1. Tomi, let me know, bro. Is that inhale or chest fry? It's hard to tell down there, especially because it's mixed in really nicely. But I love that. I mean, right off the bat, so we're getting Tomi displaying one of the things he's known for, which is just sheer vocal range. He has this crazy high head voice falsetto where he's up there in the 5th octave. Then he's down in the 1st octave doing either chest fry or inhale. His lowest, of course, is inhale. He goes down to the 0 octave when he does inhale. And Tomi and I have a pretty similar chest range as far as I know, and we both like to use chest fry. And we both have a pretty extended upper range into that falsetto. And it's great that we, you know, also something not in the original, he's kind of just created his own totally original intro to go ahead of his cover of the song. I love when artists do that. Not even just reworking the original material like he will going forward, but adding something totally new, whether it's a breakdown or an introduction like this, or a way to finish the song that's not included in the original. So Tomi, never short on creativity. It's a great way to start, my man, and a great showcase of your range from, I believe, a G1 to an A flat 5 just in the first few seconds. And let's get into it. I also love this kind of like almost like Star Wars lightsaber looking setup we have here. I have no idea where the music video is going, but yeah. All right, let's get into it.
seven seas. Everybody is looking for something.
So he's going down, doing this full. I love this. You know, this is of course. I don't know what the original key is. I'm guessing this is at least an octave lower. If I had to guess, I'd probably guess more than an octave lower, at least in this solo line. And it's great. And he's keeping a lot of presence in that sound. Let's go back and listen to this solo here.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?
It is bassy, but he is maintaining some presence in that sound. So it's not totally a breathy sound, which is, I always find, or at least in most cases, is better to do that in the solo line. A really breathy bass works extremely well especially in produced, like really highly produced a cappella music like this, as a bass line, because then when in the editing process, it just kind of turns into what sounds like a subwoofer. But that doesn't sound so good in the solo line because it helps the speech, it helps us understand the language. If there's more presence in the sound, it helps those consonants kind of pop, as opposed to being really kind of breathy with only trying to get those bass frequencies. So I really like how he has kind of a chiaroscuro, a little balance of light and dark in his sound with this. And I think it's fitting both for a solo and it's fitting for this song, because the song is kind of dark and gloomy, but it also is, it's kind of intense. So it has like that dark, gloomy feel, but it's also a little bit in your face, at least with like kind of the content. It's like shock rock kind of. So very cool. Nice job, Tommy. I really like how you sound in that opening solo.
I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody is looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them wanted to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of these.
I was just about to say there was a chord in there that was not in the original, and I guess it's because he was using it as a pivot chord or a transitionary chord into this new key, also not in the original. So I guess he moved up a whole step here moved from C minor to D minor. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, let's go back and listen to that transition again. So I was like, this is interesting, what's happening here? And then it settled into this new key. I'm loving this. This is like total, like, when the red is going, it's total dark side. I'm thinking Darth Maul in that final battle of the first Star Wars. The Phantom Menace, sorry. The number one in the actual sequence, not the first one made. This is very, very, I'm getting very dark side of the Force vibes here.
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used
Low C.
by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them wanted to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of
Nice.
these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven.
Oh, wait. It's some super low there, and we had a new light. A yellow light.
Wanted to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world.
I think that's is a D1 growl. D0 feels too low. I don't think I'd be able to hear a D0.
Am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas.
Yeah, I think it's a D1 growl. Again, if I'm wrong on this, please comment below. I love that, especially Marcello. Yeah, I'm sure he's already put a low note list on the actual video, so I can creep down here in a minute and see what's happening there. See if I got these right. Anyway, nice, and then it kind of migrates back up. It lands on that D1 growl. I'm gonna say that's what it is for now, and then it kind of migrates back up.
Everybody's looking for something.
Okay. That's cool. So what we're getting here is a nice balance of the original, staying true to the original, and then, we've got a new key, we've got this intro, we've got all these background parts which are different. This section here was very much like that section from the original, transcribed into human voice. So I really like that he's kind of paying homage to the original while putting all his own new spins on it. Let's go back and listen to this again. When it goes, even that riff there, similar. There it is. Okay, so he's getting up to G4. A lot of G4s in chest. I bet this was tough to record. I bet this was tiring to record because you don't do these things in one takes. And this is Tomi in major belt land up in the top, towards the top of his chest range. And I bet it took him a number of takes, and I bet this was tough to record. I bet it was tough to record. It sounds phenomenal. But it's tough to nail these, and it's tough to really get into it when you're in a studio setting. Really lean in and really kind of let it rip. It's much easier to do that in a live performance setting, but in the studio where it's all kind of everything's right here, it's very hard to perform as if you're singing out there like a big audience. And you have to do that when you're going for these big belts in high chest voice. You've got to lean in and let it rip, and that's what he's doing.
Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody looking for something. Yeah. Hold you it up, moving on.
That was sick. It was like a little kind of leaning towards dubstep breakdown. It's slow. It's slower than dubstep tempo. This must be like 120, maybe 125, 128. Dubstep's usually 140 around there, so it's a little slower than dubstep. But I really like that breakdown. Then he opens up with an exposed, again, I think a D1 growl. I'm going to give my man some Vipers, especially since these Vipers go so nicely with this video. Tomi, you should have worn pit Vipers in this video, bro. Look how these would have looked with that lighting. That'd have been so nice. All right, let's go back and give credit where credit's due.
Everybody looking for something. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Something he did there in that, hold your head up, moving on. He was delaying the bass line by half a beat. So the new chord would land, and then the bass line would take a second to catch up. Usually it's something else that you put suspension in. Usually it would be like the bass line lands on the next chord, and the upper voices take a second to resolve. Because a lot of times if the bass is not on the right tonic, basically is not highlighting the bottom pitch of the key or the chord, then it can sound really wonky. But Tomi's like, I'm going to do it anyway. And it doesn't sound wonky. It's arranged in such a way to where even when the bass line's not the tonic of the new chord, you can feel it's going to resolve upwards. So pay attention to that. Listen to the beat hits on one, and then the bass resolves a half beat later.
Everyone sees everybody looking for something.
We'll listen to this again. Another D1, and I want to say inhale, because growl has no high harmonic resonance. There's no cut at all to the sound. It's all bass. Or, I mean, really there is. There's a lot of breathiness to it, but you EQ all of that out so that all you get is this. A good growl sounds like a subwoofer in a produced piece like this. There was a D1 in there that had some bite to the sound, and I think it was either you can get a lot of bite out of inhale and chest fry. So let's see. It was one of those two, I think. Yeah, I think I don't think Tomi chest fries down to D1. I think that must be a really powerful inhale with a lot of high harmonic content.
Sweet dreams are made of these. 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 Who am I to...
Let me go back. That was very cool. So he builds all this up, especially with this super high, I want to flag that high falsetto action happening. And I love that you can feel where it's going. It's like there's all this stuff happening below, and then there's like this one ascending pattern in this high head voice carrying us to that next section. It's very like it's that kind of singing. It's very that kind of singing you hear in like a Lord of the Rings soundtrack. Think like post Gandalf dying. Spoilers if you haven't seen Fellowship of the Ring. Or Gandalf falling down with the Balrog. There's this beautiful high straight tone, angelic, elven-like singing. That is the same technique. This is of course a very different musical context, but it's the exact same technique used. It's this very pure, straight tone singing, very quiet if you hear it live, but when you put reverb around it, it creates this incredible soaring. It hits you right in the heart, hits you right in the soul whenever you hear it. It's a very special kind of sound, and it's something that Tomi is very good at, and you'll hear in the backgrounds of a lot of his music, but this one is more exposed. I mean, it almost is the spotlight here. So let's listen to this again.
Are made of these. Sweet dreams are made of these. Sweet dreams are made of these. Sweet dreams are made of these.
All the way up to A5. Beautiful job. To me, that's where my ear goes. It goes to that ascending pattern rather than the repetitive material on the bottom that's kind of building. The most exciting part for me is that high falsetto. So that's awesome. Well done, Tomi.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something.
I think another D1 there. So what Tommy's doing, this song is repetitive in the original. So what he's throughout, he's not just sticking to that script. He is sticking, at least harmonically, when he's not doing a key change or something that is unique. Harmonically, he's keeping the chords the same, but he's changing up the bass line here. He's changing up the backgrounds. I mean, you will never find two parts of a Tommy P arrangement that are the same. He always is changing things, and that is what makes him such a creative and unique arranger. He does not do I'm just going to save time and I'm going to copy paste these 4 measures here to here. He's like, nope, I'm going to rewrite it, and I'm going to write it a little bit differently. And these are especially things that work in the studio because you can record on your own time, and you can take the time to do that. If you're doing a live arrangement, it's often better to not have tiny variations between every different repetition of what would be the same content, because it's way, way harder to memorize, and it can throw people off. So I remember arranging for my a cappella group back in undergrad. It was good. I mean, it was good to have your own spin on things, but it was also good to have sections that repeated exactly, because if you're doing a concert with 15, 20 a cappella songs, and every verse has a little variation here and there, like whether it's text or syllables or different harmonies, it becomes almost impossible to nail all of that. But it's something that we as kind of virtual, now he's in a group, he performs live too, but for his solo stuff, my solo stuff, Marwan's solo stuff, we have the luxury of being able to really switch things up and keep it super interesting without the burden of having to memorize it perfectly to perform it. And you can extend that freedom towards what you can do with range as well, that kind of thing. But overall, I love this song. I've known this song forever. It's on my alternative rock playlist. It has been for years. I think Tommy did a fantastic job capturing the mood and vibe of the original and taking some of those parts as like transcriptions and turning it into voice, but also throwing all of his own spins on it, a bunch of spins. From that intro to the key change is a big one, to always varying the bass line to that little dubsteppy breakdown section with the D1 growl where you got the pit viper, to there was one other repeated section that I don't think happens in the original either. Overall, a fantastic job. Go check it out. If you're not subscribed to Tommy, go subscribe. Go join his Patreon. He does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, a lot of live streams while he's writing new pieces. He's a fantastic artist. He's a great guy. And we will be doing stuff together again very soon, which is extremely exciting. So Tommy, shout out to you, my man. Great work on this. And everyone else, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.